Hello and welcome to the Wellness Connection podcast. I'm your host, Fiona Kane. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about vitamins and minerals supplements. I see that there is a new study out that is being reported where they were talking about multivitamins and whether or not they're helpful. And essentially, it says that there's no proof that taking a daily multivitamin will help you live any longer. And they did a study of 400,000 adults. And the adults here had people with no major long term diseases. So it was a health record for nearly 400,000 adults with no major long term diseases, to see whether the multivitamins reduced their risk of death. So it's very specific about reducing the risk of death, and it didn't see that. And I wouldn't really necessarily expect it to see that. So, anyway, so it didn't help with the risk of death. They did say that some people were more likely to die in that time, but it's one of those things there's so many. The problem with these kinds of studies, they're observational, right? They're observational studies, so that all they're doing is observing what happens, and there's so many variables. So I doubt that multivitamins would be an issue of any kind. It's all about the quality of the multivitamin. But I do agree where it sort of says pretty much what does work is taking supplements, really targeted supplements, the right one for you, based on if you have a nutritional deficiency or something like that. And we very much know that there's very great benefit in that. For starters, vitamin C deficiency is scurvy. And so we know that it makes a big difference, when you take vitamin C for that, it makes a huge difference. The same with vitamin D deficiency, which is really, really common, unfortunately. But I see a lot of my clients really benefit from taking magnesium, and iron is a really common deficiency. Same with many B vitamins and vitamin A that I've talked about before as well. So there are a lot of nutrients where if you do have a deficiency, it is really worth taking it. And I would say that a multivitamin would be particularly useful in the case of if you're on lots of medications, because sometimes medications can cause nutrient deficiencies. So you don't take it at exactly the same time as a medication, you take it away from it. But certainly a multivitamin can help in that case. I would say also if you are on, say, like a vegan diet or a very sort of restricted diet where you're not having much nutrition, of course, we absolutely know that multivitamins are essential for preconception and for pregnancy, breastfeeding, that kind of thing. So we know for mums it's really, really important. So there's times where we absolutely know the benefit is amazing and we really, really need to be taking multivitamins. Other times, not so sure, but I do recommend taking supplements because I see a lot of benefit in it. If someone doesn't need them, and if you're really healthy and doing well and you are absorbing the nutrients from your diet and you have a really healthy diet, well, that's brilliant. Of course, I'm not going to necessarily prescribe supplements to that person, right? So, ideally, that is what you do. Ideally, you get the nutrients you need from your diet, you have a lovely, broad diet, and you're absorbing all the nutrients. You've got a good, healthy gut, and you're able to digest and absorb nutrients, right? So, that's the perfect situation, the ideal situation. Unfortunately, we have a lot of less than ideal. So we have a lot of people on less than ideal diets, and we have a lot of people with absorption and digestive and gut issues, right? So in those situations, it can be really, really useful and important to take a multi or to take some particular supplements depending on what's going on for that person. And like I said, if you have nutrient deficiencies as well. Now, the thing about taking supplements is what I recommend is that you actually have your supplements recommended by a health practitioner. So that's something that I'm qualified in and can help with. Because if you don't have a health practitioner prescribe them, you won't know if you're on either the right one for you or even just a good quality supplement. So I hear a lot of people say that, supplements are just expensive urine, and they're not necessarily, but they can be. So there are some really poor quality ones where I look at the ingredients in them, and the ingredients are really they're kind of synthetic versions of vitamins or types of minerals that you just can't absorb and that you just can't use. So sometimes the quality of the vitamins or minerals that are in a supplement are really poor quality, unlikely that your body can use it and absorb it. And also the other thing I see quite commonly is supplements can often have way more excipients than actual ingredients. And excipients, all of the extra things that make the supplement up. So it might be what's used to make the tablet white, or to make the capsule, or to get the consistency right, or keep it fresh, or whatever it is. But sometimes some brands have so many excipients, and it's taking when we take a lot of supplements and there's lots of excipients as well, there's lots of things there that you can be taking that might be a problem for you. Also, too, a lot of people take just lots of different things. I had a client come in once, and I think she had, I can't remember, I counted at the time, but it was something like 30 plus supplements that she was taking. And I went through them all, but most of them were out of date, so I actually threw them away. And so just most of them were poor quality, were things that she didn't really need, and weren't worthwhile. And and it's funny because people say, supplements, like I said, expensive euro, and they don't do anything. But then the next breath, they say they're dangerous. And so they can't be both. They can't not do anything and be dangerous. And the truth is, they can do something so they can be dangerous, right? The same as medications. Medications can do something and therefore they can be dangerous. They can also be really helpful. So supplements fit in the same category where they have active things that they do, and that does mean that maybe you can have too much, or maybe it can react with your medication. Maybe it's contraindicated for the health issue that you have. There's a whole bunch of reasons why you might react badly to a vitamin, or it might not be suitable for you or safe for you. And the same one might be perfectly safe and actually really beneficial for a whole bunch of other people. So the idea of supplements being, safe or bad, is they're not one or the other. It just depends on the supplement, depends on the individual, depends on lots of things. The same as medications. So basically, when you take a medication, whether it's in the form of a supplement or a vitamin, mineral, that kind of thing, or a herb, or if it's in the form, if you take like a medication, as in a prescribed medication, you have to always just be aware of what you're taking. And it's like when you take a prescribed medication or a medication, you would usually talk to your doctor or pharmacist. So with supplements, I would advise the same thing, that you talk to a nutritionist, or at the very least your pharmacist, or someone doctor, or someone who knows what they're talking about. Because yes, you want to know that what you're taking is the right thing for you, has the right ingredients in there. And even just simple things like whether or not you absorb it might be depending on whether or not there's something else in there with it. So, iron can be absorbed better with vitamin C, but particularly when it's a vegetarian source of iron, the animal source of iron you can absorb quite well without vitamin C. So it just depends on the actual sources of these supplements. And there are certain B vitamins that work better with other B vitamins. There's B vitamins that can hide deficiencies of other B vitamins, or other minerals, or minerals. So the supplement thing is a complicated question, and so the answer is a complicated answer. In my opinion, supplements can be very, very useful. And when they are targeted, when they're specific, and when the person is taking the thing that's appropriate for them and safe for them and has been checked with their medications, and you understand their health issues and you're managing all of those things, supplements can be great. They can absolutely, they're life changing. They've been life changing for me, and I see them as being life changing in my clients. I see it every day. So supplements have great value and can be really, really good. They can also be expensive waste of money, and they can be detrimental depending on what it is and the situation. So please, everything that you take, whether it be a medication or a supplement, please get the right advice. Please know what's safe for you. Please be aware of what's safe with medications you might be on. And in actual fact, like, sometimes people don't like taking supplements if they're on medication, which is fair enough. And you've got to be safe. And in particular, like if you're on warfarin, there's almost nothing you can take when you're on warfarin. So there are situations where yes, you absolutely have to be really careful. But as I was saying before, though, there are a lot of medications that cause nutrient deficiencies. So, in fact, the fact that you're on medications might actually mean that you're more likely to need supplements. It's just about the timing of when you take them and taking the right thing and the right dosage and all of that. And a big example of that is people on statin medications for cholesterol lowering. Those medications will reduce your coenzyme Q10 and your magnesium, and they're both really, really important nutrients for your heart and for your overall health, and for things like, one of the reasons that when people are on statin medications, the cholesterol medications, they get really sore muscles and things is because of that, and they get really tired and fatigued is because of those two nutrients that you become deficient in when you're on that medication. So, in fact, if someone's on medication like that, it actually would be ideal to be taking supplements with that. But it's just about the timing, the right dose, and the right thing for that person. And if you're on more than one medication, then you have to consider about the other medication as well. Blood pressure medications can cause a lot of nutrient deficiencies. So can things like antidepressants, and most definitely any kind of acid blocker, like so. Anything that is an antacid or to reduce the stomach acid, they absolutely cause nutrition deficiencies because you need stomach acid to absorb nutrients. So if you reduce that, you're going to absorb less nutrients. So I just wanted to, in regards to supplements, there's all sorts of things that you see in the news, and I think it is important to, the daily multivitamin thing. Yeah, maybe not everyone needs to do that, but if you take it and you feel better for it, that's great. Just make sure you get a good quality one. And a hint is that might not be the cheap one you get in the farm in the supermarket. It's probably not the best quality one. However, what I think usually works better, unless, like I said, in that situation where it's pregnancy and preconception, that kind of thing, in which case, and that's preconception for someone wanting to have a baby, it's really, really important that that woman is taking a multivitamin that includes active versions of folate, and it's really, really, really important that she's taking that before she gets pregnant, because that is vital for the brain health and the nervous system health of the baby. So in those cases, multi is absolutely required and really, really important. For the everyday average person, yeah, look, if you're generally healthy, you probably don't need it. If you take it, it makes you feel better, great. But for generally speaking, in my experience, the people who really benefit from supplements are the people who are having various symptoms, various deficiencies, various health issues, or, like I said, on medications that cause deficiencies. They are the people that can really, really benefit from taking supplements, and but targeted, specific, and really prescribed well. So that's who I would recommend in regards to taking supplements daily, people that will really benefit from it. I'll be back in a moment. I'm back. So, if you're one of those people who is taking lots and lots of supplements, spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars, it is well worth seeing a nutritionist and getting support around that and getting advice around that, because it can save you an awful lot of money, because maybe you were taking something, too much of something, not enough of something, not the right type of something, and it makes a big difference if your prescription is really, really targeted. So I advise you do that. Look, the other thing too is I often do get concerned when people are taking multi-level marketing vitamins and things, and they get prescribed by their hairdresser or their mortgage broker or their next door neighbor, and they, oh, everybody benefits from taking this, and that, and they're taking all of these supplements, and that's, your neighbor doesn't know what's the best supplement for you to be taking, or that it's safe for you, and it's a lot of money, and so I would recommend that you don't take supplements that way. Honestly, that it's really worth just getting advice, even if you're talking to your pharmacist, your GP, whoever it is. But ideally, someone who has learned a lot about how to prescribe supplements, which nutritionists like me has learned how to do. Naturopaths are also taught how to do that. But it's going to save you so much money, and make it much safer for you. And the other thing is too that we keep up to date with new information. And so sometimes we will realize that something that we were doing in the past is maybe not a good idea because new information comes out. And an example of that is taking calcium. Taking calcium, is it's beneficial for some people, but it's about the form that you take. It's about what you take with it. But what we do know is just going out and just getting yourself on a calcium supplement. That calcium doesn't necessarily get absorbed into your bones, and it often ends up sitting in your arteries in places where it shouldn't be, causing you health problems, right? So calcium is one that we've realized that yes, there are reasons to prescribe it, and it can be beneficial for certain people with osteoporosis, osteopenia, but you really have to prescribe it with the right other cofactors with it to ensure that that gets into your bones. And so just going and taking a calcium supplement because you heard that that's a good idea is not a good idea. And it's people who are trained like me who are up to date in that information and know that, okay, that might have been something that we used to think that was good, but now there's been a lot of studies and we know it's not, right? So your neighbor doesn't know that, but your qualified health professional does. So someone who keeps up to date with those things is really, really important. Someone who knows how to prescribe safely. So if you're taking a whole bunch of supplements, honestly, it's not worth the money unless you get advice around what is right for you. And so many things are doubled up, and which is where often people end up with situations where they end up with taking too much of something. So you'll often find that, B6, I like B6 is really easy to overdose in. Now, you won't necessarily die from an overdose of B6, well, you won't, but you'll have some pretty nasty symptoms. And they could be, for me, I get really anxious. I've overdosed myself on B6 before. It makes me really, really anxious. For some people, they get neurological symptoms like they'll get hand pain, and it can be quite nasty. And what B6 is one of those things that is really useful, and sometimes you really need to take it. But it's in a lot of supplements, and because it's sort of a cofactor for lots of things, and so it's in lots of different supplements. So if you're taking 6 different supplements, it could potentially you might be taking 6 lots of B6. So just little things like that that people like me know that you don't know because it's not your job. And so, if you're going to take supplements, if you're going to spend money, they are quite expensive. So, my advice is to get advice to support you to take the right supplement for you, the right dosage, the right type of supplement. Someone who can monitor that in regards to your medications, in regards to your health, monitor your symptoms, and I can recognize if you're having, if you're having too much B6, what those symptoms might look like, or if you're having not enough of something, or if a symptom's masking something, and also how to read blood tests and know what is the appropriate prescription for you. So, should everyone take a multi? Not necessarily, but certainly any woman who's planning on getting pregnant, they should definitely be taking one. Uh, are supplements useful? Absolutely. Can they be a waste of money? Absolutely. Can they be beneficial? Yes. Can they be bad for you? Yes. All of those things is one of those things. A lot of things are true at the same time. So get advice on what's right for you. Don't just take any old supplement, and it's worth investing in someone to support you and teach you how to do that. So you can book in with me at informedhealth.com.au. Now, the other thing too, I just wanted to say, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and if you are on YouTube or if you're on Rumble, then you can reply as well, comment and let me know what you think or what's going on for you, and also anything that you'd like to hear about in upcoming podcasts. Anyway, thanks for your time. I hope you have a great week, and talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.